Up until this point in my life, at the age of 25 years old,
I've been able to experience a lot. With the amount of success I've had, along with blessings that I'm forever grateful for, behind the scenes, I know it sounds cliche, but it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to achieve everything. It doesn't matter what odds are stacked against me, I have never taken no for an answer.
literally by any means necessary, I've always chased my dreams relentlessly.
And what's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
But regardless, through my journey, I've seen my path take sudden turns, change, and evolve. Kind of like a roller coaster, I've had plenty of highs and lows, many ups and downs. Truthfully, it shaped me into a person that at times was completely unrecognizable, but at others was exactly who I needed to be.
Recently, I've felt more lost than ever before.
I've been seeking to chase understandings and find deeper meanings to the questions that constantly replay in my brain.
So, in an attempt to put the pieces of the puzzle back together and move into my next chapter, I decided to create this mini movie to give everyone who supports this channel and myself an official update.
But of course, in a more cinematic style, going back to my roots, because everyone knows I shoot my shot for a living. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
Yeah.
It's good, bro.
It's good.
How you doing?
Thanks for stopping by.
Yes, sir.
Please step on in. Whenever anyone walks into my house, I genuinely want it to feel like they're in a kingdom that accurately represents me. It's legit the only place I can escape from the hectic world outside, and it's where I could truly be at peace. I believe a home should be fully customizable to you, down to every scent and decoration. Everything you see serves a purpose, such as this mini basketball. I have a form of ADHD, which means I get distracted incredibly easily, which is why I put in my surroundings things to do. But I'm a certified bucket. Mr. Shoot Your Shot.
Lately, I've been spending a bunch of time in this building.
I feel like I've been getting tired of going out. Even talking to people, I don't even feel like I have the energy to do so. In progress, I'm still adding on to my jersey collection. Michael Jordan, Luka Doncic, Odell Beckham Jr., Pele, Iverson Johnson, O'Neal. The only sports I actually watch though are baseball and basketball. The Dodgers just won the World Series, so being from Los Angeles, a native, been trying to attend games every season ever since I was a kid. Each and every poster you lay your eyes on has played a huge role, whether it's a movie or album. Oh, especially The Sandlot. I mean, I played baseball every season up until like 13.
Noah Rojas.
And this taught me my lingo, my slang, just pretty much it was life at that time. I made sure to, put the release dates because I'd be forgetting. But 2018, I was a year out of high school, and I was planning to go to college, which I did end up going for about a month, and then I dropped out.
It's really been hard to find time to edit my vlogs and post my vlogs, and I have not said this in a video, but yes, I did drop out of school.
That was the biggest risk I ever took. This is what the living room looks like on any typical evening. We keep it cool, calm, soothing, and collected. Unless I have company, I don't really watch TV. Here and there, throw on Netflix. Barely any YouTube, surprisingly. Whatever catches my eye on my recommended feed is what I gravitate to. But I keep it old school, I got the record player, and all my vinyls surround my entertainment center. Been throwing in Palo Santo in my routine. It's supposed to cleanse your environment. I don't know. It smells good though. My office or gaming room. This is my computer PC station. Constantly on business meetings, calls. I'm just kidding. More or less playing video games. I built my bedroom brick by brick. I was going for modern and futuristic with nature. I did a pretty good job. I've been wanting to adapt my style. I really do enjoy fashion. I can go streetwear, then fancy, sports, thermofit shorts. jerseys, doesn't even matter. It depends on where I'm going, but I'll make sure to match.
I feel like I've gotten tired of going out. In this season, even just talking to people, I struggle to find the energy to do so. And that's not to sound rude, I promise. If I meet fans or supporters in public, don't be afraid to come up to me and say hello or take a picture. I truly appreciate my subscribers from the bottom of my heart, but I think in this season I've been trying to regain that energy back. I've been mainly focusing my attention on things that have nothing to do with my job in hopes to improve my mental health to come back stronger, especially by being active and working out consistently. It's been a lot of isolation. Being alone, not much talking to anyone outside of my family members.
Please don't worry about my well-being though, because I can assure you it's okay. Everything is for a reason and happens in order to teach you something. Something that I found is that it's incredibly easy to allow your mind to wander and control your emotions. But going forward, I've been attempting to be more mature about situations and to realize that life is so short that nothing really matters. If anyone could relate on the fact that they think they aren't good enough or could be doing more with themselves, you are not alone. From the outside perspective, it's common for people to judge my life as if it's perfect, which I'm not gonna lie, for a majority of the time it really is. And I'd be an idiot to not admit that I'm not prideful of my accomplishments or even grateful for everything. The amount of pressure that I constantly put on my shoulders and the weight that I carry is starting to catch up to me, and it's simply unhealthy. I think it's just me striving for greatness and wanting to be better, but sometimes when things don't work out and stuff happens, I blame myself. I try to correct situations even if I'm in the wrong. I overdo, I overanalyze, I over everything. You know, I don't know how I've been able to function properly and be able to keep thriving in a lot of the things that I've been through. Lately, I've noticed that the passion that I once held in my heart kind of changed and evolved, and I lost it in a way that kind of made me resent wanting to put videos out or be a content creator or influencer. I rethought it a lot of times because the amount of things that come on the side of it, you know, I realized my passion never left, but it just needed to be refound. I often have fears of what I built for myself and have done so far, if that will last forever.
Part of the reason why I'm such a hard worker though, a huge portion of the population just doesn't have what it takes to be an influencer. Of course, I'm never gonna say that a 9-to-5 could compare, but social media isn't for the weak. Constantly getting hundreds of thousands of accounts commenting positive and negative feedback on your stuff that you put so much effort into is both draining and rewarding. I was trained from a young age throughout my childhood to never care about anyone's opinions, so luckily that was never a struggle of mine, but I'd be straight up lying to say that it doesn't play a factor. I try to just put my head down and ignore everything, but at a certain point you obviously want to get feedback from people that watch you. So really, everything is a balance. If you were planning on becoming a content creator, you really got to know what you're signing up for. When I first logged on to YouTube, I was around 10 years old, and I was so fascinated that there was a website you could upload videos about whatever topic you wanted. It was its own online world where you can be who you wanted and get creative by putting out content to potentially millions of random strangers. I witnessed the invention of memes, going from typewriters to computers, wired phones to cell phones. I was raised with an old soul, but grew into being a genius with electronics. It was dope. It was a distraction that allowed me to have fun and socialize in the comfort of my own environment. Luckily, I was spoiled by my parents with consoles like the Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendos. It allowed me to shape my personality into what it is today. Looking back at what I posted, it's so cringy, but I mean, everyone starts somewhere. That's why I often tell people it really doesn't matter where or how they start, or even with what equipment. As long as you take the first step into where you want to be, you'll have my respect.
I think looking back at how Noah was very young is exactly why he's doing what he does today. It just made him who he is, and he's always been that person, and he found his outlet, and he he ran with it.
But being online has officially taken over our society, especially with apps like Twitter, TikTok, Twitch. From recording myself talk about different subjects with a squeaky voice over gameplay, the only thing that keeps me going is realizing that my younger self would die to be in the position that I'm in now. Doubt is the #1 thing to kill motivation, and in the past I could have easily overcame it. But randomly, as I grew, I've had it affect me more than ever.
All right, where do I even begin? All right, y'all, what's good? I'm Noah, or Simplistic, across all social media platforms. I'm a content creator, influencer, videographer, photographer, editor, literally anything having to do with making content or even just being creative. I was born in Los Angeles, California on September 3rd, 1999. Shout out my 90s babies! I'm grateful I wasn't past 2000. I'm a part of the cool group, even though by now I'm considered an unk. I was brought into this world by 2 loving parents. Overall, they raised me to be who I am by passing on all of their amazing qualities. I wouldn't have half the work ethic or personality if it wasn't for them. My ability to be kind, forgiving, and overall just being grateful for the life that I was given, it's all due to my mom and dad.
So I'm Tara, aka Noah's mom. So when I had Noah, I had only had a daughter before, and I love having a daughter, but having a son it changed everything.
Unfortunately, they split when I was around the age of 10 or so. And that really created a weird dynamic for my life because I didn't know what that meant at that time. I didn't really understand it, but I was curious and I was always wondering why they couldn't just work it out and be together. Regardless, even though it wasn't the most traditional way of being raised, I truly loved every second of it. I'm not a single child though. I do have 3 sisters, even though back then I was pissed that I couldn't even at least get a brother. Instead, I had to do squad no fill with 3 girls like Fortnite, but it's all right.
I'm Sydney. I'm 25 years old. I'm Noah's, I guess you could say, little sister, although it doesn't feel like that because we're 9 months apart. I would say when we were younger, I genuinely thought we hated each other so much, but I've grown to understand that that's what siblings do, because now you get to a point in your relationship where you get a lot closer.
Even though there is always so many emotions flying in the air, they've always been very impactful when having my back in certain situations. In general, it was a great support system.
Noah would form his personality in so many different outlets from day one. The memory was impeccable. He would memorize the entire movie like Shrek, and he'd walk around with his Shrek doll and his donkey doll, and he would just be citing the entire movie, all the while just playing with the toys.
I don't remember where it started, where we both realized that we were obsessed with being creative, but I think this speaks volumes to who we are, because Noah's very much I'm gonna think outside the box and do things out of the norm and not do the traditional path of X, Y, and Z.
When I was little, I was going between my mother and father's houses. I would often switch weekends because that's how co-parenting works. I definitely saw a huge shift from me being an introvert to an extrovert, because when I was little, I didn't really want to socialize with everyone. I kind of wanted to stay in my own bubble where I felt safe and comfortable. But when I started playing sports, that's when it kind of helped me break out of my shell. So for a while, my mother has been bugging me to come help her clean out the garage because it actually contains a majority of what I've owned and collected while existing on this planet. There's just so much. You wanna have a referee outfit?
I have one.
My mom used to actually take school and classes to be a referee for my teams. I'm so grateful that my parents prioritized me being active for sure. I have countless memories with long lost friends that I'll never forget. Winning championships, trophies, getting awards at ceremonies. It was such a blast.
You are freaking awesome. And you were first place, champions. Come on, you need this stuff.
I do not need my trophy. I don't need.
Your kids are gonna love this.
They
stuff.
don't care about my trophies. They're
Well,
gonna
they
earn their
don't
own.
exist yet.
They're gonna earn their own. My favorite glove. It's the #1 choice of professionals. It's so broken in. I'm keeping that for sure.
But aside from all the sports he played, what was the biggest thing? I think video games.
No, you're lying. My old video games? This is okay, this is gonna take me down memory lane.
He always wanted to play Grand Theft Auto, and I always had to hide that game from him.
Whoa! You know, okay, Modern Warfare 2. Video games was a huge escape of mine. Literally at any age, I could always rely at just going home, grabbing my controller and hopping on any of the consoles that I had, and having the ability to form my own reality. I had many inspirations when it came to who I looked up to. Watching certain channels like Smosh, PewDiePie, Casey Neistat, but overall I would consider my biggest inspiration to be Faze Clan, a worldwide gaming organization known for their personalities and skills when it came to trick shotting on Call of Duty.
What the fuck was that?
Real girl, I know. Oh my god!
Obviously, they've become an empire, but back then, being around in that era was special. When entering high school, I definitely could tell that I was different from the rest of my class, only because a majority of the people didn't know what they wanted to do as a career. And if it did, it had to do with getting a college degree, whether that was being a doctor, lawyer, or any profession. But from the second I entered my freshman year, I instantly knew I wanted to become a YouTuber. Anything having to do with the platform, I wanted my foot in the door.
What's going on, guys? Gaming Guy Jr. bringing this video. Today, I'm going to be bringing you guys something that I've wanted to show you for a long time. And it's my Christmas, no, I'm just kidding. It's my face. And, yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty random day to be doing this, but, you know, random is good.
So I remember in Noah's early teen, I mean, he barely started high school, and all he wanted for his birthday was this computer set. I let him pick out the computer, and he brought it home, and he started making his videos and doing his streaming. I think he would play games on there and start networking. But yeah, that computer, who knew that computer would kickstart his whole career?
The name was absolutely horrendous. It was Gaming Guy HD. I don't know what prompted me to choose that username, but without a doubt, it was the worst stuff I've ever made, but everyone starts somewhere. It all begun with me telling stories, commentating over video games. During that era, it was much more simple, and that was a trend. To kind of just be personal with your viewers and to allow your viewers to know about your life. Since I didn't have a job yet, I used cracked versions of softwares or any cheap solution that allowed me to at least learn how to edit and make my own content. I remember waiting hours for videos to render and constantly fail and have errors. I don't miss those days, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't matter what equipment you have, it's about how you use it. So if you're trying to be on the internet and become successful and thrive, I don't care what type of mic, camera, editing software that you have, anything is possible and you can make it work. When I decided that this was going to be my forever career, I truly meant that. I put my head down, and from that decision, I never looked back. Every single day, I would make a new video. It doesn't matter even if it was only getting a couple hundred views. It kept my hunger and motivation going. Even with a high-pitched voice, it didn't matter. I was going to still chase my goals.
What's going on, guys? My name's Christian. I'm Noah's cameraman, also his best friend, and I've known Noah for about 20 years. We met in class. We actually got in trouble together. After that, we just started talking.
They became fast friends.
We just related a lot, honestly, and we liked sports. We both played a Little League baseball. We played football together, basketball, soccer. I mean, any other kind of school sport that was happening. We kind of made it a point to make sure that, like, hey, you know what, why don't we try out? Like, imagine both of us on a team, like, that's just bad news.
It's unstoppable.
Yeah. I know Noah, he's always wanted to be a YouTuber, but I think he was really kind of in the position now to really, you know, make that move of, you know what, if I commit to this now, it's gonna pay off in the long run. I think in 7th and 8th grade, he was really starting to find his niche, and he was really starting to, I guess, branch out and start taking, you know, a bunch of opportunities that he had. To be honest, now looking at it, it wasn't really a big opportunity, but it was, you know, starting to play video games with some Faze members. And to think like what just that would lead to was just insane.
I think Noah was really heavily influenced by watching me work so hard. Being a single parent, I had to work, of course, full time, And I was in school at the same time to become a nurse, and not realizing your kids watch you. The times he would use his credit card to just eat or get gas, and he'd be out filming all day, and he wasn't getting paid at this point, so he literally lived off his credit card, and he just made it work. He made whatever he had work to make his dream come true.
When Noah started filming, it was kind of like obsessive. It was very obsessive. It was very hard for me to, I guess, get on the train. And I'm not saying I didn't believe in him, but it was very hard for me to kind of be there for him, especially with finding my passion, because I'm a dancer.
I'm about to go take class for a video shoot.
Okay, I'll see you after. I'll see you later. What a great guy.
There were times where Noah would be filming in high school when he first started, and he would be filming in between class, in class. Everyone would look at him like, yo, like, what are you doing with this big ass camera in your hand, you know, like sticking a camera in people's faces and trying to get reactions and pranking people and getting on people's nerves, you know? There's been plenty of times while we're actually out filming and people tell us the same thing and try to make fun of us still to this day. So seeing him, you know, make those connections and really sacrifice a lot, especially in your teen years, you know, you want to go out and you want to experience parties, you want to go to prom. Seeing that really put the belief in my head that it could be done if you just put your all into something.
I was like, whoa, you can actually record anything and make it into such a beautiful project. This drew me off the path of YouTube for a little bit though. I went outside, took pictures of random things, and then going back home and combining it into a project. This further helped me more than I could ever imagine. I do take pride on not relying on the form of education that's offered in America. I think the system is set to limit and keep you in a box, setting you up for a regular path. So even though I took photography and graphic design, it was really only an excuse to rent their equipment. I would spend countless hours just watching different videos on how to adjust settings or how to do certain transitions and cuts. A big step that I took though was starting to shoot concerts. I really wanted to make sure that my skills were unmatched in any scenario. So my plan and bright idea was that whenever I saw a festival poster, I would scroll all the way to the bottom and choose the band with the least amount of followers and basically shoot them a professional email saying I could do any type of work for free. I didn't even care about getting paid. I just wanted to be there.
And I just remember dropping him off at venues and picking him up afterwards, and he would get these passes, like media passes, and I'm just like, I don't understand what you're doing, but I mean, I'm happy you're you're so happy about it. If he needed my support to get 100% back behind him, I would back him up.
With shooting concerts, he really wanted to understand and really dive deep into doing the best and making it the best, especially with cameras and editing. And I think that's why everything worked out for him.
Shout out to Gibson Hazard, who later became an award Grammy-winning producer. He really got me to shoot for major artists. Travis Scott, Trippie Redd, Nav, Lil Uzi Vert, and the list goes on. Even if bro doesn't know it, it played a huge role in my life, so it's much appreciated. With the constant movement, changes in lighting, and in such a hectic audience, during this period, it helped me develop my techniques. It was such a blast and entirely fun, but it all came to a stop when I realized it wasn't going to be my forever.
We were just getting our driver's license. I mean, I don't even think we were 18 yet. Noah got a freaking mom van, a big red car that was probably like on its last like 100 miles. But with that, he was able to make his connections.
Somehow Noah always knew like who was gonna make it and who, like he had an eye for talent, and he knew.
And Noah, by the time we were in high school, was already filming with people who like my friends and I were watching on YouTube, which was so crazy.
Like climbing up to the Hollywood sign with Danny Duncan, or shooting with the Vlog Squad and David Dobrik. Yo, I was nervous though when I captured a certain birthday party and event. It was for Wolfie Cindy. When I found out that I was going to do that, I almost myself. I don't want to dive too deep, but I also want to show love to Luna. I flew out to New York to meet him. He is an incredible human. He's actually the one that introduced me to a lot of the people at the Clout House with Banks, Alyssa Violet, Rice Gum.
Like that's kind of where we were at, where it's like he was chasing his dreams from day one, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna chase my dreams, but it just looks a little different in like the academic path. But it's wild to think about because we can still meet each other at that level and be like, we're still doing what we both feel passionate about. And when it comes to creativity, we're still very much on that eye level. He's just extremely proactive about it, and I'm more on the sidelines of like, look at this video, or this is what I like. But in terms of us being creative, I think we always have been. It was just we took different routes. He lives life on the edge, and I'm very much far away from the edge, and I planned everything a year ago type of personality. But that's just like who he's always been. Honestly, I can genuinely say from when he was a little kid, that is literally just what he was like. He was always in his own world, in his own head, doing whatever he wanted because he wanted to do it genuinely because it interests him, never because someone else was telling him to do something. It was always like, oh, that's what I like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Once it came to graduation and having to figure out what we're gonna do with our life, everyone else was going to college, getting into accepted places, and we just decided to stay back and make content.
Faze Clan was living in New York City in their iconic house that was probably the first content creator house ever. As I was constantly keeping updated with them, they decided to make the move across the country to California. From watching this group for years to being able to actually be in contact with any of them, I figured this was my chance to prove my worth. At the time, they were mainly shooting their own content themselves, whether it was vlogging or using a desktop. So in my mind, I put 2 and 2 together and I'm like, wait, they don't have a cameraman or someone to help ideate. And the rest is history. I became close with a majority of the members. Blaziken, Rain, Adapt, Tico, but I got the closest with the founder and inventor of the logo and brand, Tommy, aka Temper. He was like a father figure to me. I still hadn't broken out of my shell. I was very self-conscious, and with his guidance, I was really able to flourish. I remember vividly taking an exam in college, and I received a text that basically said, yo, we really could use your assistance right now. We see your value. Can you please come over right now? That split my decision into 2. Was I going to stay in school and play it safe? Or was this a sign to drop out, leave it behind, and pursue what I really care about? It's a no-brainer. I think we could all know what option I chose. We really formed a brotherhood and routine, constantly going to the gym, skating, talking about life, giving me tips on how to pull women. I needed that. Now I'm Mr. Shoot Your Shot, so it definitely helped. I went to Coachella, various states across the USA, but things got even more insane. I was asked to go on my first ever plane ride and trip/vacation out the country to Brazil for a month.
This is my grandparents' farm. They both passed away. My grandfather passed away actually last year, and then my grandmother like a while back. So only my uncle and my aunt lives here. Yeah, we're here. It's pretty dope. This is as raw as it gets. Like, this is Brazil.
My boy Temper trusted me enough to go with him, meet his entire family and generations of who he was related to, and shoot every second of it. And that's what we did.
I would watch him just be out filming all day and then coming home and cutting these videos, and he'd be up till 6 or 7 in the morning, and I'm going to work, and I knew he was working so hard.
I was basically told that if in a year nothing had come from this, I had to go back and enroll in college, and that really lit a fire under my I trusted in my vision and was praying that everything would just work out. This is when I turned 18, and I'm a big believer when it comes to manifestation, and this felt like exactly that.
Working alongside and becoming close with a group that I was so heavily invested in for so long was something unimaginable. I was truly blessed, and it was all with determination mixed in with luck. Regardless though, a majority is information that can never be shared on the internet. Y'all really don't understand what I've seen in my POV. When the lights and cameras are shut down, that's when the real personalities shine, and you see true colors. So no matter what, I'm very appreciative. Although it was something I did strive for, I knew that another chapter was around the corner.
So I was kind of looking for someone who had a similar work ethic of wanting to grind. I remember I was in Newport Beach at their current house that they owned, and Rug showed up out of nowhere, and I actually caught it on camera.
I'm gonna go, don't worry. Dude, he almost jumped out the window last time, actually.
No way.
Like, the window was open, he was like crawling out and like he was about to jump.
What?
Yeah.
From that, we never really kept in contact until his 10 million subscriber party. But that same night, me and Rug genuinely connected on a deeper level, relating to a lot of the same things. And that night was simply history that sparked an era of us becoming the dynamic duo.
Although we shared similarities, there was also things that differentiated us as well, which made it kind of like yin and yang. I began going to San Diego almost every other day for weeks on end. And that's the true start of the dynamic duo. I would constantly be on set with any type of video, whether it was setting it up, helping with the idea itself, and then of course filming and even sometimes editing overnight. Literally anywhere that I could assist, I was there. I was so motivated, especially because Rug was also a goal chaser. Two like-minded humans pursuing what they do best. It was simply organic and beautiful. Almost perfection. Not only did I do so well in this environment, I began to develop relationships with Rug and his entire family, and they welcomed me in with open arms. Anthony, aka Sherman the Vermin, Brandon or Brawadis, even though we still have beef, I really don't like the guy. There's nobody on this planet really like him. Even though he could be an idiot, you know, I appreciate his character. Mama Rug, Papa Rug, the list goes on. Not only did I improve my knowledge with shooting this style of content, but Rug really taught me what it was like to be a YouTuber. He showed me the ins and outs of the platform itself, what type of thumbnails that did good, or tricks to help improve performance, how important it is to stay consistent, how to overall genuinely make a solid piece of entertainment. And I owe that push to Rug without a doubt. I was doing the absolute most to keep up with the trends, but I did also implement my own vibe into the videos as well. Even though sometimes it didn't really work out, because I remember this one time I tried putting a coloring over one of Rug's videos when I was editing it, and it looked terrible. The comments hated it. Probably ruined that entire production, but you live and you learn. I would shoot things in a specific way, knowing how I wanted the finished product to look. This was a major step into both of our evolutions, but it's also exactly what we both needed. But because the videos were so personal, and the fact that we were bonding consistently, the chemistry was unreal. Whether we were filming or not, it was the same energy. Purely positive vibes, funny moments, and being dumbass. I was once a hated character. People would constantly tell me to be quiet or shut up, and that I was ruining the videos, but neither Rug or I cared, only because we both knew everything was headed in the right direction. So we didn't pay attention to the negative side of things. We kept doing what we wanted to do and focused on the positivity. And eventually, the Rug army accepted me. It was truthfully mind-blowing, and it was something I never expected. And that's a valuable motto I keep in my heart. Never expect anything, just let things happen as they would. Because if that's the case, then it was meant for you. I'm never the type of person that needs to be in the spotlight, but this allowed me to actually be prideful of my accomplishments. Not only having the support from fans, but Rug was a blessing in disguise. At the time, I remember I already had around 20,000 followers on Instagram, and that was simply from getting tagged in pictures that I would take of artists, celebrities, or influencers. But this is when got serious. Bro, I remember gradually gaining thousands of followers. Rug's aura and motion is no joke. Nothing to play with, but it was well earned. Side note, up until 2024, I had around 600,000, almost at 1 million, and Instagram randomly decided on an afternoon to take my account and ban it. So quick plug, follow my new one. Regardless, this inspired me to reach for the stars and showed that anything was possible, which is why you should never limit yourself ever. On top of that, Rug is very kind and giving, gathering all that inspiration from everyone around me, and throughout the course of a few years of supporters telling me to make a channel, it gave me that push to follow through and say why not. So in 2020, that's when I pulled the trigger and never looked back. No. Bro, what day is it today? I still haven't put out a YouTube video? No, people are gonna hate me. You know what? Just I had already became somewhat of a character in Rug's videos that it was a pretty easy transition. It truly was a full circle moment. Not only was Rug heavily involved in my content and super supportive, every client and friend that I developed throughout my career was able to also be featured on my channel as well, because I was still trying to expand and develop my own personal brand. It really came down to action and putting in the effort, especially with the right people around me. Even though I had earned this in some way, there was a lot of things in my mind telling me, why did I be able to deserve this life, or what made me so lucky, or why me? With how much humans struggle on this planet, whether it comes to finances or family issues, I get that quality from my mom without a doubt. She's a people pleaser in the sense that they would rather do way more for others than themselves. So especially when I receive gifts during my birthday or Christmas, it still feels weird. I love to give. I want to make sure that everyone is chilling. But that's where it comes to remaining humble and not forgetting where you came from.
As you can.
Just leave it here?
Yeah, you can leave it right there.
Cool. Thank you, bro. Appreciate
you. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
What brought you into coming out to donate?
Anytime I get a chance to be able to provide any support or resources that I have, especially being in such a blessed position, I want to do so. When I heard how much the community was going through it, I really wanted to be able to be there for them and show my and just be present in the moment, you know.
But anyway, from there on, we were hitting milestone after milestone. Over the course of 8 years, we went from 10 to 25 million. Don't get me wrong, Rug is the mastermind behind this whole operation, but I was incredibly proud and happy to be a part of the journey and apply my support wherever, whenever. And simultaneously, I grew my channel to almost 2 million, which is insane, with both of us doing it as a team effort. If I were to tell my younger self that, I'd probably cry. Actually, my position is blessed and I don't have to worry about some of the things that others do. As I'm sitting and talking, it's like I blinked my eye and now I'm here. It all happened so fast. And that's why I also constantly remind myself to stop and look around and appreciate everything, because you never know what could change or what could happen. Life is so short, you never know when your last day is going to be with someone on this earth. And I'm not trying to get dark with it, but it's true. So again, Brian, you're probably watching this. Thank you so much for everything. The bottom of my heart, it was nothing but blessings. I could ramble for hours, but just know that God gave you a special talent and the opportunity to spread that to the world with your positivity, and you've exceeded expectations and not only proved it to yourself, but the world that you're a legend. Now, the main question I want to address that keeps getting asked is the fact on why it came to an end abruptly. Everyone's been confused, so I wanted to clear things up. The main thing that I keep getting is that I'm a fake friend. I was only around for the clout and money. And really, I never care about anything anyone has to say about me, only because I'm confident in my morals and how I carry myself, what my true intentions are. But this is different because it has to do with my integrity, and for the fact that it's far from the truth. No one will understand my experiences, what it's like to be in my shoes, or what goes on behind the scenes. If you want to make fun of my personality, my appearance, totally fine, that's cool. Plus, I'm a nerd, I'm pretty weird. Anyway, when it comes to my intentions, I'll never allow people to assume wrong things about me. The time, effort, energy, stress, exhaustion, and sacrifices I made and that I went through isn't going to be misinterpreted or mistaken. Usually everyone sees the benefits and not what really goes into it. If that was the case, everyone would do it. But balancing all of that with my life is where it would later become challenging. Devoting my time to YouTube while also going through my own struggles aside from social media, dealing with personal relationships, and having the constant pressure that I put upon myself, it wasn't a piece of cake, I'll tell you that. The whole narrative that I didn't enjoy to film the videos anymore is false. I slowly started to lose my grip. My drive was becoming weaker. Mentally, it was hard because this is everything that I had ever wanted. I would never just neglect something that I worked so hard for, and that was my dream, for absolutely nothing. So the narrative that I didn't enjoy filming Rug's videos is completely false.
I'm really sorry it took forever to get a proper update out of me.
I've taken a step away from social media for a while to focus my attention towards my personal life. I wanted to grow and become a happier version of Noah or Simplistic. I wanted to find ways to thrive away from the internet. This was never something that was planned. It was something that happened and I had to deal with. It's not like out of nowhere I decided that I'm gonna abandon ship. I'm out of here. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything too. There's things I can improve on. I'm nowhere near perfect, but it felt like at a point I couldn't balance my work and my life together. I'm not gonna sit here forever and talk about what I was going through personally. It doesn't need to be further explained. Those are the emotions that I keep personally, and that's for me to deal with. So if you were expecting me to spill tea or say stuff to get clicks, that will never be the case. I can't expect myself to be a better version when I'm being drained from all sides of my life. I sat with them for a while. I went to therapy. I began exercising, climbing mountains, going on runs, lifting weights, eating healthier. But please understand and realize this. That doesn't defeat the fact that I still pray for Rug and his family. I'll continue to pray for their success, health, and wealth. That will never change. So for anybody trying to pin me down for someone that I'm not is absolutely absurd. I don't care how much money, clout, or fame is up for grabs. I'll always remain true to who I am. The only things that I care about is happiness. Life is short, and at the end of the day, nothing truly matters. We're so limited with the amount of time that we have on this earth that even though things rapidly change, it's important to remember that you can't take anything to the grave. There's never gonna be room to hold grudges or even have that type of energy. So I appreciate everyone who has been understanding, knowing that things are way deeper than what they see on the surface. The main message of what I realize is that even when you fall down, it's okay to relax for a bit until you get back up and keep going. The only way to improve is to keep moving forward and never stop for anything or anyone in your way. Keep the real ones close and never forget where you came from. I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, sure.
What keeps you motivated in life?
Reaching my goals.
Bettering myself and wanting a good future for myself.
Shoot, money, because, you know what I'm saying, money is kind of like the key to,
you need that.
You know what I'm saying, a lot of stuff, freedom, travel, everything, you need money.
What keeps me motivated? Him.
The Lord.
Only thing I've been through, I used to be in the music business, so I used to be filming, all you guys probably too young.
Yeah.
A group called the Gap Band.
I love the Gap Band.
I was with them for 17 years.
How did you find your faith? When
I turned 70 years old,
yeah,
they told me, say, you got cancer. I said, I got what? Up until then, I'm hustling. Me and my wife, ex-wife, hustling all our life. I said, God, first thing on your mind, is that it? Am I done?
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm not ready. I said, God, whatever I got to do to get through this, I'm going to grab your hand and we're going to go through this and get through it. I tell people the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs you go through life, and the things that you go through, payments, this is not free.
Yeah.
This is all you got. For whatever direction, whatever you're trying to do in life, if you don't have no life, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So you have to be humble, you have to be thankful, and ever since I took the hand of God, I have worked in 7 years and God has blessed me everything. I tell people, when we can't do no more, we can't figure it out, please let me know.
Hey, we gotta get going, brother.
All right, God bless you, dude.
And you as well. So what I want to close with is I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's constantly supported me throughout the past 8 years. Even though it really begun at 13, it doesn't matter when you started following or began to support me. It's been an incredibly long journey. So anyone that's ever dropped a like, commented, subscribed to me, showed love in any way, enabling me to even live the life that I do, my friends, family, supporters. It really would not be possible without y'all. Damn, I'm actually gonna like shed a tear. This is insane, bro. All the creators, especially Faze Clan, Faze the up. I'll say this to the day I die. I'll sound like a constant record on repeat. Huge shout out to Rug and his family. Anyways, what is next, you might ask? Well, I guess you'll have to wait and see.